story is it's a matriarchal society, okay? So it's woman brain. So it's very hard we as men to understand why Karina Millet didn't simply simplified accept my offers, like to save the Amazon today, all these big planes, Siemens, because I have Siemens, I have Wärtsilä, I have Hyundai, like it's real. Like I do have all the Barclays, United Kingdom, the World Bank, Deutsche Bank, and $4 billion for it's not even the project, just to execute this, okay? And but it's matriarchy, so it's I believe I already spoke to you about that. So you go as a patriarchal, and then you offer like this is a thing, this is the problem. Okay, so we're gonna fix this. Vera is very smartly. They'll keep in mind Vera was created in the 70s, way before all this matriarchy new thing. Okay, America. I don't even believe America is matriarchal. America is bipolar right now because you have a good chunk of the United States is really blocked there. I don't know if you listen to Pan American news or you get just blocked or some specific niches, but if you really listen to all across the United States, like you see that most of America hasn't changed a bit. It's things don't change that quick, and they're blocked. But other than that, regular cowboy patriarchal thing, you have witnessed that with the Charlie Kirk assassination. Even Donald Trump, when they shot his last year, is kind of a warning. I think it's the same cowboy style has always been. Like, are you really fooling us? I see that just as a warning, like a warning. Are you fooling us? What's your deal? Like, are you serious about the things that you're saying? He seems to be serious. Okay, but the thing is, on an industrial point of view, and that's why I left the União de Fronteiras, because I was a journalist, right? And I was chatting about a lot of things there. I worked on that show for almost 2 years. I had a very good time. I enjoyed a lot. There was one video that have 500,000 views, so I'm happy about that. Okay, so about the work itself. But the issue is that I'm not a free panelist because I was working as a panelist, but I'm not detached because I'm just not a commenter. That's my issue with putting things in public, such as what Mel Gibson is doing. Well, Mel Gibson, he's an actor, so he's an actor. People understand his message as an actor saying that, so it's still an actor, okay? On an industrial point of view, and that's why I left the União de Fronteiras, because I was a journalist, right? And I was chatting about a lot of things there. I worked on that show for almost 2 years. I had a very good time. I enjoyed a lot. There was one video that have 500,000 views, so I'm happy about that. Okay, so about the work itself. But the issue is that I'm not a free panelist because I was working as a panelist, but I'm not detached because I'm just not a commenter. That's my issue with putting things in public, such as what Mel Gibson is doing. Mel Gibson, he's an actor, so he's an actor. People understand his message as an actor saying that, so it's still an actor, okay? Me, I can't just dump a video saying things like that out of the blue because I have contests. So I can't, and I do represent businesses and I do represent companies. Like I have the power to talk on behalf of Barclays Bank, which is the most traditional bank of the United Kingdom. It has over 300 years of history, based on realistic experiences that I have with Barclays and sustainability. So I can give a comment about that, okay? But my comments, they are more for meetings, not for public appearance. If they are public, I need to have an approval from Barclays. So if your show next month and you decide let's talk sustainability, for example, and I mention Barclays, I will have to, in my case, because I'm not a journalist, I am working in the industry, so I will send a message to Barclays United Kingdom and ask for permission. Look, I have to answer a question because that's going to be used properly because it is a bank and there is income there and there's work there and there's employees there and there's tax there. So it's a realistic situation. So I cannot just say Barclays is evil. I cannot just dump an egg on someone who works for Barclays. Even if I criticize Barclays, but it has to be properly, okay? And I believe they're being too slow. I believe whatever they're saying, but it's still kind of a constructive criticizing, not something free, because I'm not free on this topic. Like I work in the industry and VIP people, so I can't, okay? But I can give proper comments about my visions. It's usually my visions are super accurate. The issue is not about the issue itself; it's about people in general. Like. People are so used to problems and fights, so now it's kind of a game, bad against good. So people fear peace and solution. You see, the easiest example is people who want to lose weight. This is an issue in Argentina. This is a solution in America. The physician, they follow the diet, they watch the videos, but they keep fat. They don't lose weight. But they talk about it, and they may even schedule a new appointment, and they'll buy a new. It's the same thing with anything in life. So then you talk about this issue of sustainability, and you're like, well, I think everybody wants to be talking about this forever, and but I am the physician. on the international business development. I'm the physician. They want, okay, so we solve this. This is an issue in Argentina. This is a solution in America. That's a problem there. And there's needs of this payment. I know finances is evil, but that's how it works. And then you need to pay this. They need collaterals. Boom, 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 fixed. Okay, but no, but no. Okay, the number one problem is the lack of infrastructure, because most of the Western civilization infrastructure was addressed by the United States. Poorly or not, but was the United States a country that used to give infrastructure to all Latin America and Europe? It would be like the anchor, okay? But with all these infiltrators there, they turn America into like a playground, all this kindergarten game we see with hidden cameras, and you are a full American. Like, America wasn't like this. Like 30 years, 20 years ago, we would imagine people with secret cameras filming people, and a Chinese lady addressing the global finance of all the U.S. dollars in a table that they feel like they're like in a Hollywood cheap movie, right? Like the picture that they have released now. That there's Priscilla Chan there, and with her team, okay, like Elon Musk playing the good boy, everybody playing the good boys, whatever, you would never imagine like that, really. And the thing is that I believe Karina Milei, she's what I heard from her assistant here in Rosario, and I'm addressing her because it's been about Patagonia fires, because she does have all my materials since November 2023, okay? Because I was already working sustainability for 2 years, but in the Amazon rainforest. So that's why I have the whole package ready. And because I have everything structured and moving okay there between the Amazon, America, and Europe. But once Milei was elected, I said, well, that's opportunity. Like, let's add Argentina to the table, because Argentina was excluded because of civilization, because Argentina was totally uncivilized before Milei. Now, at least there's some rules in place, okay? But before, it was just like gangsters' paradise, this lane, so I wouldn't even talk about Argentina, okay? But once Milei was elected, I was the first person. I went to his office here in Rosario. I knocked the door. I spent 3 hours talking to his assistant. Now he was an attorney, whatever. So I was there, and I spoke. Then I went to his meeting. So I'm talking about Libertad Avanza and Partido Libertario, both. And it's been 2 years I've been networking with all Buenos Aires, Mendoza, like you name it. I get calls from like almost everywhere, all across Argentina, about the reforestation, agroforestation, sustainability, the whole thing. Okay, but then it comes to Argentinian society. It's like Argentinian society is this pay cash, no pay. Is this thing like you need to reforest the entire Argentina on your own first, and then they will think about paying you later. Like that's the saddest part. I have worked in several different industries, and sometimes I get shocked because every industry have the different things. Some industries are super cool. I may think about one that's really easy, and usually those who work with beauty, like art, like maybe pure entertainment, such as you just entertainment. It's kind of easy. People are more easy, okay. But not sustainability. I was shocked because I thought sustainability was easy. It was nice because there is a lot of nice people in sustainability, but it's not like that. There is nice people, but it's overwhelmed by fakes, wannabes, users, opportunists, advantage takers, like people that they survive on the ugliness, like Lula da Silva in Brazil, that he needs the favelas in order to be in power, so he's not doing absolutely anything to remove favelas. He does maintain them at a certain level. It's not that he abandons, as other people would have done. He's not abandoning or ignoring, but he maintains all the poverty and the crime because that's his power. Like these people who vote, which is the Bolivarian Revolution, which is a different topic, which is the system that Lula is trying to implement in America and in Europe, which is called the Bolivarian Revolution. Okay, which is this thing that maintaining those shanty towns and treating those people like rabbits, that they like vote machines. There's a lot of brainwashing stuff that they go to the ATMs there with the Bolsa Familia thing and they vote, and like the whole Bolivar. But it's people that they need poverty. So sustainability is loaded with those, like loaded. Especially the media, okay? Most of the media, they make more money with sensationalists and ugly stuff against sustainability. So media, generally speaking, most of the media does not help. They act like they're helping because they're always trying to address, look what they found out. Oh, look, just see this. Oh, look at that. Look. Oh, they're burning indigenous people and they're killing them and they're cannibals. Like, oh, we just find out this ugly stuff in the Amazon. Usually the results is obviously the opposite, because usually bankers, investors, manufacturers, they try to stay away from that because media is not helping. They're just, making it more complicated, such as all the party they did last year, the COP20 party. Okay, so for example, this thing also works on the defense of Karina Milei. Why Karina Milei did not unblock those funds to save the Patagonia, okay? Because yes, at that point she was maybe smart or cautious, because if she gets too involved in sustainability, and then maybe they will connect her with all the scandals of sustainability. So it's a sensitive content. So you see, like Mel Gibson, he's talking about Israel, but he's not mentioning her or Milei. You know, like they're not mentioned because she's the president of Argentina. She's Jewish, and he could have been talking about her, but he's not. Why? Because they were super. They didn't even touch that. Okay, because it's going to be problems because her name will be involved with the fires in Patagonia. You know, and go explain that. It was destroying the California forests to, for example, on the evil sensationalist media against sustainable environment, they advertised that Bill Gates was destroying the California forests to do what? Like, I think he was destroying it for wood, whatever, like, and it's not. That's called management. Forests, they are managed. So he was managing that forest. So because there is a cycle on the ecological engineering that you have a tree, and then at some point the tree is too old, and then they plant new trees, and then they cut the old trees. So it's like farming. It's farming. So there is an engineering process there, and it's logic. Okay, so it's not. They said that there was on the news they were saying that was 2 years ago that Bill Gates was destroying the California forests because he wants to eliminate oxygen from planet Earth and kill everybody. Okay, and like, wow, that's a very strong statement. Okay, and then it's far from reality. Okay, but still, so these things they need to be addressed and explained. Okay. I see in Argentina is because it's a radical matriarchal society, so it's very hard to handle Argentinians because you're talking to women, and it's a lot of women, and usually unhappy women, because they're not that happy. I don't think Argentinian women are happy, and they are they are the ones with the power, and I had open conversations with the matriarchs here, and I tell them, look, I tell them honestly, and I tell them because usually what the matriarchs do here, they just reroute you to one of her castrados. I'll just talk to this man or that man and that man, like. And then as soon as you finish the call with this man calls the matriarchal. I said, look, where did you meet Agustin? What he's doing? Because Agustin told me that I had to pay $10,000. Like, well, yeah, don't worry about that. He didn't tell me that I had to pay. Like, so they go back to the matriarchal. So obviously, in meetings, in business, you have timing. So, well, then yes, Karina Milei can be blamed for genocide because she had all the offers that was November 2023. Obviously, she has a defense. She can say, look, I'm sorry, like, Argentina is too complicated. I'm not saying that, she's evil. But yes, she committed genocide in Patagonia because she ordered to destroy all the environmental ministry here out of the blue, and then there was a proposal, and I have insisted, because I have insisted, like, I traveled to Buenos Aires a few times, I had lobbyists in place, I met face-to-face with deputies here in Rosario, like, I went in November, as soon as she got the Senate, I went to her office here, her political party. I left the entire dossier. It's about 20. I didn't even took a picture of it. On such a good faith that I did that because I don't have a picture. I don't have anything. I have the documents or the letter. That's fine. But it's not that I have I actually have a video when I am handling. But it's very very okay. And then I tell them, look, as I am a doer. Okay, it's just a doer. Okay. Tell them, look, I have to follow protocol because these are funds that are coming from Norte Global. These are American, British, European, Singapore funds. And there is, and they are the one that pay the pays. They are the ones, this is what I'll tell you as well, okay? Like, the sustainability is a need from Norte Global population. Because people in America, general people, democracy is there. They're more genuine than democracies down here. They're not perfect, they're more genuine, including France. They're a bit more genuine. There is a conversation between rich, poor, and everybody in the United States, in Europe. So that people there, they do complain about sustainability. They want to save the planet. That's the people in general. It's not politicians or in general people. They do. I know that they pollute a lot, but they want. It is genuine. Like, it does exist. And there is a thing about the middle class there. Like, if I want to talk to Donald Trump, as I have done through these messages, I know that he's not checking that website. I know there's a team of people working. I don't know how, like, the White House, how many people maybe when I'm talking about just not security or things like that, like direct employees of that White House as a company, as an institution, like the maid, the cleaning, the electricity, the secretary, like I'm talking like there be no less than 500 people, 1,000 people. I'm talking about direct things that they are just related to the White House, not to the United States in general, to that house there where he lives. There is the doorman, the person who answers the telephone, someone that cleans the window, so that there is maybe 500 people, 1,000 people. Just so he receives a letter from people, which is probably thousands of letters a day. There is obviously someone he does not have time to really go through 1,000 emails. So I know there is middle class, there is more people working, there is teamwork down there, and that's most of the Norte Global. So when I talk to, like, I have sent emails also to Karina Millet on her website. The Casa Rosada, they do have a website, and they do have received emails. They have. They have. The last one was Senatora Bullrich, Patricia Bullrich. They have it there. They have the messages. They do have it. Okay, it's not that I just, but I follow the protocol too. I talk to their people in charge of who represent her in Rosario. Rosario is the second largest city in the country. Like, and I'm right in the city center, so it's not really. And so I go and I talk and I leave, and I tell them there's a protocoler here because this is from Norte Global. The fact that the Argentinian society took the decision to eliminate, erase, and remove middle class, it's an Argentinian problem that we're not addressing down here. So yes, the owner of Argentina, this big leader, is there. Buenos Aires, she also has, it is addressed to her, but I'm giving to the people that she has representing her in the second largest city in the country. And that's that lady, that boy there. Okay, so they have it. So that's a protocol. See, that's because the funds are from Norte Global. They're not from China. They're not from the Middle East. If they are coming from the Middle East or from Norte Global or from maybe China, it would be a difference. I am being genuine, and my company is based there. My company is based in America, is based in the European Union, and it's based in the United Kingdom, and that's where these funds come from. And I am trying to follow and do this to the cross culture, so we save time. These things that go on, but so that's more the big picture. Not that I think Mel Gibson's like that's just sensationalism. I don't think it helps. I don't think it's there is those rumors and there is, but it's I think it's far from the truth. I don't think when it comes to Jewish people and their like big plans, I am 100% sided with the Jewish community in New York City. And maybe if someone is really interested in investigating it, they can search online and they're going to find data about this. It's not about being Zionist or whatever. It's just about the thing about having their own land. Like Jewish people in New York City, who are the wealthiest Jewish people across the world, they do not believe that Jewish people. It's not about deserving the land, but it's about. I need to really try to think about their exact words, the words they use. It's something like what they say is that it's not the nature of Jewish people to have their own land. So they believe that Patagonia, Andina, Miami, Israel, Palestine for the Sephardi, they find it's all stupid because it will never work because they understand that as a ghetto. They understand that that's just a big ghetto. It's just okay. Instead of those in Warsaw, whatever, like in Europe now they have Israel, but they just understand that as a ghetto, and that all these Jewish people confined there, and it's not their nature because they say the nature of Jewish people is the same as gypsies. They're like everywhere because they move from country to country very easy. Led me to that myself, but my case, I'm on the other side of the boat, okay? Because I am transportation, so it's different. Transportation is European. Usually, it's not Jewish, because we are the owners of the boats. Usually, that's the nature of my business. Even my H-1B visa in the United States is as a logistician. I am a logistician there on immigration in America. Because I have an H-1B visa there, logistician. Logistics, because that's usually my core business is import-export, international shippings and traveling. And so we do have a lot of Jewish clients. So that's why there's even a say in Geneva, because my family, they come from seaports. Like Geneva, Dublin, Ireland, Rosario is a seaport as well. Miami is a seaport. Like Belfast is a seaport. That's why I travel so much. Bangkok is also a seaport. So there's even a say in Italy. It's 7 Genovese to make only 1 Jew, because we know they lie. Because we know them, they are travelers. Like they usually we have the boat and they are our customers, and so we see them and they're on the boat and then they leave and they jump out and they go back and they go, But they say it's a big mistake, Israel, because they just created a thing. So it's not to go even more than that to say the Israelis even want the Patagonia they already do that. But the way they do it is this way Karina Millet is doing because she's Jewish. Go back, we do a loop, and then then you listen to the whole podcast again, and then you see the whole thing, because it's like it's already there, but the issue is like the conflict about Jewish is like, do Jewish have power or they do not, or they still slaves? They're saying because they act like they have power, but usually most people do not understand if they really have power. I think they're just making things way too complicated without any purpose, and I believe even worse, without any results. Because what I see is that most Jewish people are unhappy. Right? It's very rare to find Jewish people seriously happy. It's very difficult. It's a community that they fight each other a lot. They praise individualism. It's very me, me this, me that. I don't see, okay, but But anyway, that was the full podcast, and I hope you listen to it and I think about it. Okay, but all right. So look, and that was the original idea of this message. Is I end up sending you a full podcast as if I were in Buenos Aires, but I didn't. But I just wish you have a nice day there. Thank you for listening and enjoy your trip. Okay, and have a nice day there and all the best.
Because time's running out. This is the real plan that's been running since the 1850s, and it's barreling toward World War III. Back then, they targeted two prizes: Palestine and Argentina. Palestine for control of the Middle East, Argentina, especially Patagonia, for a final refuge when the world burns. They took Palestine. Done. Now comes the Isaac Accords, Argentina's quiet surrender, turning it into an Israeli colony in Normandy. Right now, they're burning Argentina down. Wildfire.
I do not believe on that. Okay, cheers.